Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, internet world. Welcome to Auto Merch Talk. It's a podcast we put together to talk about car stuff in the industry. We work for a company named Car Data. We take pictures and videos of cars at dealerships. So if you're looking for a videography or photography service for your inventory, Car Data is your company. Today, as usual, guys, we're going to have some updates for you guys over a few things. So I have Edwin Gomez with me today, and he's going to start it off.
So, in the news.
What's in the news?
Both Hyundai and Kia remain firmly under the glare of safety regulators in the U.S. They've been having a lot of issues.
Oh, engine failures.
Yeah, they've been having a lot of incidents with their engine failures, fires, like different things.
They say about 3 million cars, Hyundai and Kias total.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of cars. But they said that Hyundai is actually taking care of the problems, and they're actually
No, yeah, they are. They're taking care of the problems, and the failures and the fires are actually in Hyundai's and Kia's manufactured between 2011 and 2016.
Right.
So, I mean, they are taking care of it. If you own a car or a Kia, whatever,
From those years.
from those years, just call the dealer, see what's up.
Right.
Because they are handling it and they're making it top priority.
They still have to pay some fines. They still have to pay about $137 million in fine in November of 2020. That's a lot of money. And Kia was ordered to pay $27 million in fines also for safety measures. Wow. They didn't attack the problem too fast enough, I guess. That's what happened.
Yeah. Wow, that's a hit.
That's a big little hit right there.
Wow.
In other news, will 2022 be the year where you buy your next EV?
All signs point to yes. Sorry, I was shaking the 8 ball.
So yeah. So what does 2022 look like?
Well, the electric vehicle movement in India received its biggest push. They're doing key launches in 2 and 4-wheel vehicles, and I guess they say 2 because in India there's a lot of bikes, there's a lot of motorcycles, like scooters, motorcycles. Right. So that's why they say 2-wheeler, because I want to say there's probably more 2-wheelers than regular cars out there. I would think so.
Kind of like China, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And India's idea is to be 100% electrified by 2030.
Wow.
So they're looking to get this done literally in the next 8 years.
That's not a lot of time to do that.
That is not. But they have big companies like Hero Electric, Okinawa. Hero Electric are the ones that make those big, I guess the trucks, right? The box trucks.
It sounds like it, right?
The truck. I mean, I could be mistaken, but they do have other companies out there that are helping them with the push.
There's a lot of companies coming out with EVs too, so it's going to make it more, give the consumer more options.
Yep.
To buy different brands, not only Tesla.
And then the good thing is, again, this is one of the issues I was having, because everybody's talking about EV vehicles, but I know they're thinking about it, but I don't see like them doing the infrastructure yet, like where the gas,
right,
where the charge and stuff. So in India, the Indian Oil Corporation and a petroleum company, I'm not too sure what the name is, they've actually gotten together and they're gonna make sure that the infrastructure is made.
Kind of like an example, putting charging station at gas stations.
Yes. So it's like in a couple of the last podcasts that we've been talking about, I wonder who's going to be in charge of that.
Right.
And I think you said at one time maybe it's like a power company or something.
Right.
Well, that's exactly how it's going to be in India.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It helps with the anxiety of the range anxiety. If you have charging station at each gas station, that'd be pretty cool.
Exactly.
So you're not worried about when your next charging is going to happen.
When your next charging is going to happen and stuff.
More news in India. So if you want to convert your old petrol diesel car into an EV, now you can in India, because they have a new law that the DI government announced that they will deregister all diesel vehicles that complete 10 years on January 1st. The state's transport department has come up with the option for customers to convert their old cars into EVs. That is pretty cool.
That is. And then what is the pricing on it?
What's it gonna cost? From my research, what I found is gonna cost between $6,000 and $8,000 to get a car. It's not a big car. I guess it's a smaller car, but it's a 4-wheel car. It's gonna cost between between $6,000 and $8,000 to convert your car.
I mean, that doesn't sound too bad for us, but then
in India, it's a lot of money.
I'm wondering maybe they can probably get something else for $6,000 to $8,000.
That's probably why they have the scooters there too.
Yeah. Well, again, at least they have some sort of option.
Right.
And that's going to be actually what they're looking at is vehicles 10 to 15 years old.
Right.
So that's what they're looking at.
Imagine if they did that here in the United States.
Oh, I wonder how many people would do it.
Right.
I mean, with the way gas prices are here, people might want to pay those $8,000 ahead of time because it's going to save you so much money in the long run.
Right. There's about 1.5 million diesel vehicles in Delhi, India, to have complete 10 years. Wow. And there's 28 million that are 15 years and more. That's a big difference.
That is huge.
That's a lot of vehicles.
$8,000 a pop.
Right. Oh, good.
I'm really very curious to see. I can't wait because I know it seems easy in theory, but how are you going to change out 28 million? I mean, you want to be all electric by 2030. So what happens to all these vehicles?
Right. Either they go in the garbage, or they get converted to EVs.
Wow.
There's another topic I thought was pretty interesting: electric vehicles or CNG cars, compressed natural gas cars, which means propane gas cars. Right.
Yep. And that's actually pretty good because some of the CNG cars are both. It's kind of like a hybrid.
Right.
So that takes away the anxiety that you're saying.
Right.
Because let's say here in the United States, I'm not sure there's too many CNG places that we can go to.
No.
Right?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that we know of, but...
Third world countries, yes.
But then, I mean, it gives you the option to, let's say you're, 40, 50 miles away from the next the natural gas place, but you bump into a gas station. You have the option.
Right.
Yeah. So that gets rid of the little bit of the anxiety.
Okay. There was a 56% rise in sales of CNG cars till November. On November. Wow.
And that's because of the rising gas prices.
Right, people are converting their cars to CNGs.
And then they're like you said, they do have the option to get it. They have the options that there's areas where they can refill. And just so as the average of CNG is it'll be $2.11 versus our maybe like $3.59 a gallon per gas.
Right.
So they are saving a good like $1.60, $1.70.
Right. So it does make sense in the long run to do that. There are pros too in CNG cars. For example, is the lack of dependency on fossil fuels and lesser running costs. Obviously, we talked about the gas prices. The car runs cleaner on CNG compared to fossil fuels. And
they're already kind of ahead of the game because they have several car makers there. They have Maruti, Suzuki. They have Hyundai Motor. So they've already gotten it out there where some of these car makers already have been offering these CNG kits.
That's pretty cool.
As an aftermarket edition.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, they seem to be definitely going on the right track there.
Well, the cons. The cons for the CNG vehicle is that you have to sacrifice some space in your trunk to put that big cylinder in the back. That makes sense.
Yep, it does. So then when they convert it, they lose some luggage space or whatever it might be. Some
Couldn't you just take
space.
out the gas tank from the bottom? But
no, because remember, it's still using two. It's still using gas.
Right.
So, yeah. But that's okay. Seems like a big deal, but most people that drive convertibles are losing space in their trunk.
Right.
So
the other thing you were saying, the second reason is because it's hard to find filling stations for the CNG cars.
Oh, and it actually says it's very difficult to find a CNG station
right.
beyond certain states and cities. Obviously, that'll probably be the more not the city areas.
And thirdly, it takes away the performance of the engine. So it kind of destroys your engine slowly throughout time.
Yeah, it says you can. It does about 10%.
Right, 10%
You'll feel
loss.
about 10% less power and stuff. I mean, that might not be noticeable for most people, depending on what they're doing, what type of driving they're doing.
Okay.
And then again, regular cars also lose their power after a while.
Right, that's true.
So
That's
it's
true.
kind of the same thing.
Electric
EVs
vehicle
and-
pros. What are the pros for electric vehicles? Electric vehicles are cheaper to run. You don't need to do too much maintenance on them compared to the CNG vehicles.
Yeah, because there's almost zero maintenance because it's
Right, it's
it's
electric.
all it's electric. It's electric.
That's a good reason because you know what I mean. You don't have to take a car to service as often to do oil changes and stuff. It's pretty much tires and brakes you really have to worry about.
Yep, tires and brakes. Now, I've heard that the tires are very expensive because they're heavier tires or they
Right.
have so you can spend a couple of grand changing your tires.
Right.
But I guess if you got to do that, probably once every.
Depends how you drive too.
Depends on how you
If you got a
drive.
heavy foot.
Maybe every year or so.
Right.
Not that
What
bad.
are the cons for electric vehicles? The high cost of battery means the price of electric
Just the
vehicles are higher
price.
than usual.
Especially in India. In India, they came to a halt just because of pricing, because the high cost of price of the batteries.
You can't afford it.
Yeah. Yep.
The range anxiety, we all know that.
They say even two-wheelers, which is I guess the bikes and the motorcycles and stuff, even that they're much higher than their regular counterparts from
Wow.
their other counterparts. It's one of the biggest deal breakers for customers actually out there who want to shift to EV.
Finding stations to charge your EV. That's another.
That's where we go
con.
back to the infrastructure. Yeah,
Right.
the challenge is also directly linked to the lack of EV infrastructure in the country.
And the average range is 300 miles, we said, right?
Yep, the average range is about 300 miles. Another thing we always talk about, Tesla.
Tesla. Will Tesla dominate the EV market come 2022?
Oh,
That's a good question.
that is a good question. But we do have to remember that they do have these factories that they could dish out a lot of cars.
Right.
Faster than.
They would be able to roll out 2 million units each year by the end of 2022. That's a lot of vehicles.
That's a lot of vehicles.
Wow.
According to Bloomberg, report citing Los Angeles-based investment firm Wedbush, 40% of EV deliveries in China the next year will be powered by Tesla.
That's 40%. That's almost half.
That's almost half. It's further estimated that Tesla will roll out about 2 million units each year by the end of 2022. All of this has to do with the last thing you said. It's just, I guess, they were just able to manufacture them a lot
Right now, they're
faster.
doing 1 million per year.
1 million per year. So you figure 40%. So then there's 400,000. Wow. There's 400,000 Teslas out
I
there
think
in
Tesla's
China.
still going to dominate for a little bit.
Yeah, people are going to have to catch up to them because they're going to be ahead of the curve for some time.
There's been a few complaints about customers about cheap plastic in the car, but even with all these negative reviews, Tesla is still seeing growth.
There was a woman in China. They were like at one of these car show things, and she jumped on the vehicle, and she was trying to show how cheap it was.
Wow.
Funny part was it didn't have the same issues that her vehicle had.
Wow.
So she basically wasted her time. But I thought that was a funny thing. Somebody was trying to prove in a car show how cheap things are made,
Right.
and
Trying to bash Tesla.
didn't quite work out for them.
Most of these cars are it's plastic on the inside, anyways.
I mean, even it doesn't matter. You can get the most expensive cars.
still got plastic on the inside.
Still gonna have to have plastic, and there's still gonna be, areas of the car that are gonna be more prone to being damaged.
So do you think Tesla's gonna be in the market to 2022?
I think Tesla got another good 3, 4, 5. I say 3 to 5 years
You think so?
until they're on top.
Okay.
Because for now, let's say as the only thing that's gonna get someone to choose another vehicle versus Tesla is gonna be style and looks,
Right. And price?
and price. But as it goes now, nobody's going to be too much cheaper than Tesla. Nobody's
Right.
going to be
Well, you see, the average car starts at about 40,000.
40,000. So I mean, they're all at about the same price range.
Right.
It's
So,
going to
yeah.
be more till
We'll just have to see.
we will have to see.
So there you have it, guys. Little updates on a few stuff happening around the world in the car industry world. So if you like what you see, guys, please like and subscribe. And until next time.